Greetings, sisters. I hope that you are standing in your light and your divinity, and if not, I hope that you are journey to it. My name is Anat, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, The Essence of a Woman Talk. Today's talk, we're going to talk about perception. I decided to do this video because the other day I was doing a video of my waist speeds, just doing waist speeds, and I bent over and to pick up a waist speed that fell, and then this picture show, which usually this backdrop is going to always show a lot in my videos, unless if I'm outside or doing crafting with the kids, doing a video of that. But other than that, when I'm doing the tree of life or I'm doing reflection of women into different topics, which I do a lot in this channel, this will be my backdrop. So when I dropped the beads, I was like, oh my goodness, some people are going to look at this painting, well, look a lot of stuff on my wall and have a perception of what they see. And a lot of times we're programmed to look at another person's perception or our own perception without the knowledge. And then we see it through the eyes of fear, through the eyes of doubt. So when we have some knowledge and when we understand certain things, we are able to kind of really have a genuine perception of what we see when we have the information. So I wanted to do a video of the perception, and this video is going to touch a little bit of everything when it comes to this image and what the perception could be, and kind of dive into the history. And it does connect to the woman's essence. This channel is all about the woman's essence and how it connects with everything else. So right now I'm going to get a little close up and kind of explain this picture, which I was inspired by a drawing that I saw in Pinterest, and I made it into my own. The first few paintings that I started doing, it was inspiration of other paintings that I just make it my own style. And this was one of them. And then until I start doing my original paintings, my own kind of inspiration within myself. So this painting is a Taurus. And most people will see it at first and will think from far that it's a devil, a she-devil. But we're going to get into that topic as well. But this is a Taurus, which is my sun sign. And I have a moon sign of Leo and an ascending in Leo, and then other zodiac in my different houses. So this picture, I want to kind of go into some symbols that you see here. From the plants down, from the roses, they signify love, and the roses signify miracles as well. I'm trying to stay still. And then we have the lilies, which is for purity, devotion, rebirth, and motherhood, depending on which kind of colors. And then we have the ivy. The ivy is for eternity because it's evergreen, and it does grow in very harsh environment. So they also, for attachment, they hold on. When they hold on to something, they attach very well. And then we have the bull skull, which represent strength, leadership, power. Is also the Taurus, one of her elements is strength as well, and stubbornness. And then we have the ducts on the breast, which are when the woman is having nursing, it fills up with milk in the ducts and then we have the eye opening, which is a pineal gland in our eyes, between our eyes. It has a gland that is there, and it's also stand for the spiritual vision. So her physical eyes is closed in meditation. Then she had the horns, where the horns, it is also a material realm, which is earth, but it's a material aspect, and also an animal aspect, which I am going to explain part of that as well. And then we have the phases of the moon, which is stands for the midden, the mother, and the elder, which also the phases of the moon is very connected to the womb. Then we have the Taurus constellation, which stars are for guidance, illuminate light, Also, it also stands for wisdom, inner wisdom. So we're going to get into that too. In the stars, our ancient ancestors had a very vast knowledge, and they were very advanced in their knowledge about the stars. And the stars also gives us an understanding of our galaxy. Oopsie, I'm trying to move back to my seat. It gives us an insight of our galaxy, our universe, and also it explains the things that goes on with our Earth. So that's some of the symbolic of the Taurus, and we're going to talk a little bit about those symbols. The Taurus is known for the material. In the tarot cards, the pentacles, the coins, they represent the physical aspect where we come in to enjoy our five senses, and the Taurus is known for that. She is known for sensuality. She is known for the feeling music, just living life, the luxury feeling of life. So she's about the pleasures of just living the physical life, and for abundance. Also, because of the bulls, they represent fruitfulness, health, fertility. It has a lot of goddesses around the world. It has Hathor, Gaia, Tara. It has Demetra. It has it got so many. It's just so many. Even underneath, it has Oshun. She's also known Aphrodite. Oshun is also known as the aspect of love, and even though a lot of these goddesses, they are portrayed only for love and for sensuality. A lot of them are known for knowledge as well. Their knowledge, even having a war kind of aspect of them, like Hathor in Egypt. She has there is a story saying that they had turned her, Atum, the god, had turned her into Shekmen, a lioness, deity of war, and she was sent to punish men because they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. But then she got bloodthirsty, and then Atum had a mixture of something with beer to put her to sleep so she doesn't destroy mankind. Also, we see the goddess Tefiti, when she turned into that warlike. When her heart was taken away, she was turned to Taka, and that is the same thing. So she was love and also war when something shifted in her. So we're going to talk about that as well in a minute. So her symbol of the Taurus, all these symbols I have here is from A to Z, and it corresponds to numbers. And I could also put some of these symbols together and create other new symbols. So for the Taurus, it is the containment right here, then the C, the letter C, because this is O, and then this is C, and it's for cauldron, and is for fire. Then we have the purple here that is for spirit, then all coordinated to their element. So if you put this on top of here, it has a line right here with the yellow for the air, that is will, and then we have passivity, reflection mirror right here, and then you put those two together, becomes a cross. That cross is right here, is inside this symbol right here for containment, but then it becomes the manifestation. That is symbol that you can see when an embryo starts to manifest into a baby. So this is a sign of manifestation, which is the letter G, and it is number 7 for the mystical. It's just so much for the chakras. It got for the stages of life as well. So when we put that T underneath this symbol, And I have it over here a little closer so we can see it. These have the elements. So right now we're going to talk about this side here. This is the Taurus, which it has a circle. Then it have the cauldron right here. And then we have also without this is the female symbol. And it's also a symbol of an ankh. It also is a symbol of the womb. This could be the womb right here, the fallopian tubes right here, and the uterus for coming into the world of action. He also could do a foldment, which if this part right here comes in here, it becomes this. It becomes the symbol of manifestation right here. So for the Taurus, you could see different ones that you could recognize as well. And so this is a symbol when you see, like from far, you have the perception that something seems something from far and not understanding the meaning. But also, if I tell you that these symbols here are in the Hebrew letters as well. The tree of life, which is a structure that was not allowed for women to study. It was banned and it was forbidden. And in some cultures, even when the women are caught, they're shunned and they go into some punishment of some sort because she's been studying or reading the certain books. And these symbol, it is also in the Hebrew letters, 22 Hebrew letters. And there also are pathways to the tree of life. Okay. And this here, right here, are the letters that represent the letters of the modern symbol of the Hebrew. So this represent the letters, but here is how they draw and write their letters. And the first letter, Aleph, right here, that it is representative of an ox head, which looks like it has horns, and it's for strength, power, and leader. Okay, so they have that as well. It has another letter that represent are the hands, to bend or to receive and to hold. There's right here. So if you put those hands like this to receive and you put it right here, they look like as well horns. So all these letters are pathways to the tree of life, which I'm going to say a little bit. In other videos, I go in more detail into the tree of life if you want to look into that to kind of go more detail to it. But this one, we're just going to go for the perception of this topic that we're talking about. But just a little quick rundown. This is a tree of life. We are living trees. We go through a journey from the source back into the world of manifestation, where this is Earth, which is the only one in this area right here, and everybody is in their own sections. These are known as veils. This one right here, we're going to talk in a minute. It is the spear of 11, which is master number, which is the higher knowledge, the higher self. But we have to elevate through here to find our way back through the challenges, through the roads of going through these situations, so we could elevate. We can be transformed by these lessons, even though some of these lessons are challenges and they're very difficult at times, emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes physically, because those two things, spiritual and the mental, can affect the physical body. So this can also be a journey from within, journey of without as out as well, outward. And it starts with the Fool, which is the destiny child of the tarot cards. The tarot card, the major arcanas, are also linked to this passage. They are mirror reflection of the 22 Hebrew letters. And even though a lot of the Hebrews do not think zodiac is something to be studied. It's not that, but then their ring of their letters are in a ring of planets and also the zodiac as well. In another video, I break that down as well. But it is a form of their studies of the stars as well. And so here are the reflection of the 22 major arcanas, and some of the numbers also corresponds. So all the threes and all the fours, they also represent, like the Empress. The Empress is 3, so she also represent all the threes from the different minor cards as well. So here is a journey that we go through duality. These are the pillars. My altar is broken down into the pillars, the tree of life as well. The pillar of mercy and love. The pillar in the middle is the compassion and love, and this is the severity and truth. So I set it up to be that way, and I make a video of explaining some of the things in my altar as well. In another video. So here we have a journey that we go through with our duality, with our vices and virtues. It also looks like a scale, also looks like a body. Also the root chakras. The root chakras right here in the crown, and then within it has the solar plex, the throat, it's a sacral, the third eye as well right here. Also the doorway where the Empress is, and then we have the High Priestess here. And then right here we have the Devil and the Eye reflecting, but we're going to come back there for a minute. I wanted to talk about a perception of women and some of the images like this. It has an image just like this that we see in Maleficent. And Maleficent is portrayed to be evil for a very long time until the story resurfaced and kind of show another perception of her story, and how she was a young dragon frey of a mystical creature, species of dragon freys, and there they have different kinds of smaller fairies, different winged creatures as well. And in history, they talk about Moors too, of a higher knowledge as well in civilization. And so here we have a dragon frey that she is childlike, she's playful, she is lovable, she is a guardian, she guards. And here comes that she trusted and let a human from the other side to enter her domain. And then with that grew a time of friendship, and the friendship grew into love. That's what she thought. Then she trusted, in the moment of her trust, to sleep, to have that kind of trust, to sleep and trust all of her to someone, and that person cuts off her wings, the symbol of her elevation, her symbol of her freedom, her symbol that she was born with. And for her to lose her trust, her ability of flight, she got angry. And before that, her magic flow energy was a golden yellow energy. When she was hurt, it turned to green. So at that time, in her emotion of her hurt and pain turned to rage, and her rage turned for revenge. And then in this revenge, she cursed, gifted and cursed at the same time Aurora, which she could be her childlike. It could be a reflection of her childlike as well. So at this time, she cursed her until she was 16. 16, 1 and 6 is 7, a mystical number, a mystical phase as well. So at this time, she is watching Aurora because she wants to ravel at her defeat. So she's with her until she sees this time. And at this time, she is taking care of her. She is nurturing her. Aurora, she is raised seeing her shadow, seeing her horns. This is why the moment that she physically saw her face to face, she did not fear her, because she already knew that shadow always followed her, and she knew she was protected every time she sees it. So here she sees her, and they even bond even more face to face. Even though that her world, Maleficent, when she got hurt, her world turned more like a darker, but it was still beautiful. It was still creatures moving around. It was just, and the moon, it shines more and it's more mystical as well. But she was still ruling stern with the people, the Moors, but she was not hurting them or anything like that. Um, and then when she goes and she just tries to take back her curse, she cannot take it back. At that time when she's in the Aurora is sleeping, uh, the yellow and the green is fighting against each other. And then she finds out that her love was the one thing that could free her when she fell asleep. It was her mother's love. And so the next phase of the movie, because after she gave Aurora her kingdom, the Moors, Aurora gave her kingdom to the people. And then now she comes to the next phase, that a queen all dressed in white. She seems that she's a princess, the prince mother, and she's the one who has spread some rumors about Maleficent and in turn her evil. Even though she, in that movie, she was a villain and still a hero at the same time. And I know I can relate to that, because even the people that I have loved, even my children, I have been the hero and the villain at the same, at that time frame with them. And so here comes the second phrase, that Aurora wants to get married. She goes without her, her instinct is already like, these people don't like me. I don't know why I'm going to go there, but Aurora was insistent and she did it for her. Even though Aurora told her to hide the horns, made her feel that she had to hide her aspect of who she is. So she goes into the village, makes a bridge, and the people are whispering and moving away and in fear. And she's like, these people are never going to change. This is something that I'm used to. Even though they were, the queen was rude to her, she tries to hold her composure. But then when she tries to kind of nip at Aurora, talking about that's her daughter, her protective mode came back on. And she like, oh, wait a minute, hold up, this is not gonna happen. You're not, this is my baby. So there has a fall. The queen is kind of making her own agenda and making it seem that the king has fallen because of Maleficent. So Maleficent leaves, she gets injured, and then she sees that she has more of her species, but learning that she is a race of the phoenix. Okay, she's one of a kind. She's magnificent, but even though they call her Maleficent. So she goes through, she comes back, and in her thing, she's seeing that humans has a way to change. And this is why at the end she stops the war. She like, okay, all right, this is, people can change, because not all the humans were following by their ego. They were following by their spiritual side, their knowing, their inner knowing. And so she saw those things happening. So she did not judge all in the same. So at the time she gets hurt, she dies, trying to save Aurora again. And she rises up. Now her energy is like a golden with red with it, with the phoenix. So here we go. She sends Aura, she allows them, she blesses the wedding, and at the end she is in black and white. And usually in the movie, through the story, you see her in dark colors, mostly black, which black has already a stigmata of being evil or not right. But the moon, the new moon is much strong, is very strong, more so than the full moon, because the new moon is where the seed and the manifestation of seed grow in the darkness of the universe. Right here is the painter, one of my original paintings, that it's the cosmic mother. The universe holds It's called black matter. It is a substance that is like a black cloud that holds the universe. And from there, it has the planets. It has different planets, the eggs. So within the womb and stars and all these things, it's in the womb. That's where things grow. But we have a stigmata to change, to see the evil in the black, and then to see the good in the white, and that color purity, which it has those colors like that. But to make one thing, to look and have the perception of evil. But this is where the manifestation grows as the seed and the child grows and stuff like that. So it's perception and how we put our intentions as well, because everything has a vice and virtue. Even the tarot cards, you could have it as a reverse or you could have it in an upright. The meaning could be different depending on how it's switched up. So here we have another two women that in history that has a perception of bad as well. And those are known to be our ancestral mothers as well, ancient ancestor, which is Lilith and Eve. If it's wrote, because if they're the first woman, they're saying that this woman, it is one of our ancestral for all women. So now we have the story of Lilith, which is the first wife of Adam, and they made them equal. So she wants the equal rights. She wants to use her equal rights, which is understandable. But Adam was like, no, I am higher than you, and you will do as I say. And she was like, I'm not having it. So she left. It said that she left the Garden of Eden, and they sent 3 angels to go get her, and she was like, no, I'm not going back because it's not fair. She felt it was not fair. Now she's going for her independence. And then because she didn't want to turn back, they said that she was turned into a demon. So now she is the first vampire, because now she's known to be the death of newborns. So the sick crib death for children, she was blamed for it. For unborn still babies, she was blamed for it. And they turn her children into demons as well. So they turned her children to demons. So she said, oh, well, I'm going to go and do this and get the newborns or whatnot. So if she's been having children on her own, this is panthegenesis. So she is folding herself and having these children, which again, Mary is an example of that as well, and different ancient stories around the world and even today. So here we go have Eve. Eve is now taken from the rib of Adam to make her more submissive and to under his protection. So now she's also blamed. She's blamed for temptation, seduction, for the fall of mankind. So now, because of her persuading Adam, okay, and now she's just. Now both of them are supposed to go and exit Eden, which I make another video about the story of Eden, and Eve and Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve is the story, the last book in a Greek Bible, a story about a man and a woman coming out of a tree of life at the end when the world is destroyed. So it has their version, but then the Romans had a custom of taking different scrolls, different things from different ancient books, and putting it together. This is why we have the New and the Old Testaments and stuff like that sometimes contradicts each other. So now we have this story here. Now we are the fall of mankind because we are a temptress, we're seductive, and we allure. So now women has to be dominated because of the fall. So now they're thrown away out of Eden. Now she is know that she has trouble having bearing child. Now she's going to suffer for having while she having child labors and stuff. But of course, if you separate her from knowledge, if you separated her from her mother, she is not going to know the things that she needs to do to have her journey without pain. This is why a lot of doulas, they know the nature of herbs and healing through herbs and nature and knowing about which plants to use. But if you are separated from that knowledge, you are going to struggle. So now we have the two women, one for divorce and then one for alluring and being seductive and sensual, because now after they ate the apple, now they knew that they were naked and stuff like that. So now in those two things from the past, we're living in now those punishment. It have cultures around the world, multiple cultures around the world, that when a woman becomes a widower or divorces, she is outcast. She is not able to remarry. Even though that she doesn't get remarried, she's still an outcast and they still shun her. And even when her husband dies without nothing of her control, she is still shunned. She is still out in the street with no community, and she has to then fend for herself. That is the Lilith punishment there. And then we have Eve punishment, that for sexuality, that in different cultures to this day, in different cultures, that they circumcise the female genitals and her vulva. They take away the clit, and they also do sewings and some practices that it's not full of ignorance, but I'm not going to get into that. I do another video about the vulva and the vagina, and we go into deeper than that. So now we have these two women, that is the origin of our ancestral mother, and we are blamed with that shame of the downfall of men. So here we go with, it has an image of Maleficent in the Taurus. So for far, it looks like a she-devil. So let's talk and let's go through talking about the devil and see how we see different aspects of the essence of the woman when we dig a little deeper. So I have 4 cards of the tarot cards, which different decks, and they have some different perceptions, and we're going to look at some of the perception and talk about the meaning as well, and some symbols that we might catch. So here we have the mermaid and a mermaid deck, and it's 15. The number is 15 for each one. And she is in the cage, but if you look closer, this cage, the lock is open. But the mermaid is still stuck looking at these material trinkets on the side. So now, just like Ariel, the story Ariel, she's in her cave full of trinkets, and she dreams into another land. She gives up the power of her voice for a pair of feet so she can go and venture off and see. So she could venture off and find her adventure and one, and also because of the prince as well. And